We're recording. So thank you. Thank you all for coming. I am John Rosick. I should start by saying that Tom and I agree on just about everything. I think everything, really. So I'm not going to repeat anything he said. Just I could say ditto to everything that Tom said. And we don't rehearse our speeches, so I didn't know what he was going to talk about. He didn't know what I was talking about. But I guess the point is that if we're both elected to the commissioner's office, we can get a lot of things accomplished that have not been accomplished in 50 years. And let me tell you about 50 years of government in Lucas County. There are 11 county government offices, the 3 commissioners, the auditor, the treasurer, clerk of courts, the sheriff, and so on, 11. In the last 50 years, and I've lived here for 50 years, the Democrats have held virtually all of those offices exclusively and continuously. You can count on one hand probably the number of Republicans that have held an elected county office in Lucas County. And so what happens when that happens? Well, here's what happens. Anita Lopez, who I'm running against, was appointed to the commission when Tina Wozniak, another Democrat, retired. So the Democrats get together and they just move people around. They moved Anita from the auditor's office to the commissioner's office. And then they moved Katie Moline from city council, right, from city council to the auditor's office. So this is what the Democrats do because they can. They just move people around. The other thing that happens is there's really no accountability in county government because there's nobody taking notes. There's nobody holding anybody accountable because they're all on the same team, if you will. And as an example, Anita Lopez, who I'm running against, and I cautiously, maybe too cautiously, avoided even talking about her in my campaigns, but in the auditor's office, she had a bit of a record of harassing and abusing and mistreating her employees to the tune of it cost the county about $200,000 in settlements with her employees through one employee settled with a non-disclosure agreement, actually, recently. Anita also lost through payment of fraudulent invoices about $600,000 while she was in the auditor's office. But nobody's watching. She's not held accountable because there's no Republicans there to hold her accountable, to bring this to the attention of the public. More recently, she had another incident as a commissioner even with another employee which resulted in another settlement of about $100,000. Again, this is your money being spent because nobody's watching. There is nobody held accountable. And it's interesting, at the end of that episode, Pete Gerken said everybody should be held accountable, but they're not held accountable. And Anita Lopez said it's time for the county to move on after that was all resolved. But you don't move on in our business. I'm an attorney. You move on when both parties have experienced a loss. The only party that experienced a loss in that situation was you, the taxpayers. So Tom and I want to correct all this. We want to get in there and develop accountability so that you all know what's going on. I am an attorney. I've been an attorney in Lucas County for 40 years. I currently am on Waterville City Council, as Tim sort of mentioned. And before that, I was on the Anthony Wayne Board of Education. So I have a lot of experience in local government, not county government, but the concepts are the same. The numbers are a little bit bigger, but the concepts are really the same. In the 50 years that I've been here, because we've had Democrat control in the county for all those years, we've lost 65,000 residents net in Lucas County. 65,000 less people living here now than there were 50 years ago. In the last 25 years, we've lost 25,000 jobs. And of course, 65,000 fewer people, so we lose 25,000 jobs. So we have less people. Oh, we have the highest tax rate, as Tom mentioned, the highest sales tax rate, the third highest in the state, 7 3/4, and some of the highest property taxes in the state. So we have less people working at fewer jobs, paying more taxes to support that billion-dollar government that Tom was talking about earlier. And it's just not sustainable. It's really not sustainable. So, as Tom said, and again, I'm going to repeat, Tom, if you don't mind, I want to control the spending, reduce the budget. I think 1% a year for at least the next 5 years is a minimum. We should be able to reduce our billion-dollar budget. I want to reduce taxes. 0.25% would be great, but it doesn't have to go in quarters. We can do less or more than a quarter. Hamilton County has 7.8%, for example. The quarter is traditional, but it doesn't have to be. And I want to do, this is interesting, Lisa Sebecki, a week ago or 2 weeks ago in the paper, she's the third council person, or commissioner, recommended that we develop a committee of local people, local, union and business representative, a committee to make a plan for the county going forward, make sort of a master plan, which they've never done before in Lucas County. In Waterville, we do a master plan every 10 years. In fact, we're doing it right now in Waterville. Lucas County apparently has never done it, never had a master plan for how the county should operate, and they didn't have to because the Democrats were in charge, so they had their plans. So I'd like to develop a committee of business leaders, educators, perhaps, maybe even union people and citizens to formulate a plan what the county should look like in 5 years, 10 years going forward. I think if we accomplish those things and all the things that Tom said, we will be in much better shape. We need to develop business. The county commissioners, obviously, what you think about the county commissioners, they are collecting your money and allocating among all the elements of our county government. That's one of their primary responsibilities. But their biggest responsibility, I think, is to enhance your quality of life. And you enhance quality of life by developing businesses that have employees, that support the government, that we will reduce the government. But enhancing quality of life, developing business, developing programs within the county that work to your benefit. That's really what the commissioners should be focused on as much as managing the budget. So all those things taken together. One thing the commissioners do not do, interestingly, as opposed to a city council, they can't pass laws. They don't develop ordinances or resolutions to govern the way that we function, just as opposed to a city council can pass ordinances for the local government operation laws and ordinances. So I would encourage you to, we have great candidates this year, by the way, all the way down the slate, starting right from the top, and our judges are great. If I do say so myself, Tom and I are great, but all the candidates are great. We are all here because we want to serve the public. We're public servants. It's public service, not politics for me, and that's the way it should be for all public servants. Marcy Kaptur, Derek mentioned, she's been here way too long, 40 years in office. Think of all the Democrats that might have run for office if she had chosen to step aside after 10 years, or 15 or 20 years, or whatever. So I'm public service. I'm sure Tom is public service. Everybody on our side of the slate is here because they want to serve the public. That's the most important thing. I would ask you, I have a website. Take a look at the website, johnrosick.com. Follow me on Facebook. I don't know anything about Facebook, truthfully, but there I am on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and I make posts periodically on Facebook, which is very informative about what my approach to all this is. And if you like what I'm saying, tell all your friends, tell all your neighbors, your family, tell your Democrat friends, your independent friends. Let me give you one more statistics, if you don't mind. There's about 300,000 registered voters in Lucas County, 300,000. 40 or 45,000 registered Democrat. And you register when you go to the primary and you vote in the primary. So 40 or 45,000 say they're Democrat in the primary. 25,000 or so say they're Republican. The rest don't declare a party during the primary. But most of them vote Democrat, unfortunately, that group of independents, alleged independents. So we really need to target the independents. I'm looking for Democrats for Rosick. If you know any, encourage them to vote. And of course, we're counting on the Republicans to get out and vote for us. If you like what I say, tell everybody. Tell everybody you know. If you don't like it, just keep your mouth shut. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.